People called King Louis XIV the Sun King. He built Versailles. He ruled as if he were untouchable. But in the end, his body failed. He smelled so bad, people couldn't stand being near him. He lost his teeth. His leg turned black. He still tried to rule while this happened. Today, we tell his story. The hall glowed with gold light. Mirrors lined the walls. A 23-year-old King Louis XIV stepped down the marble staircase. His robe was stitched with real gold thread. It was heavy, yet he moved as if it weighed nothing. 5,000 people went silent. His deep voice carried across the room. People said his blue eyes felt sharp like sparks. And when he walked, the very floors seemed to move. King Louis XIV was not only looks. He spoke many languages: French, Italian, Spanish, and German. By age 20, he could beat top Italian fencing teachers. He danced ballet for 6 hours and did not get tired. He wrote poems that made a British ambassador cry. Records say he ate 4 big meals and 3 snacks every day and still looked strong. He knew over 3,000 nobles by name and knew facts about their families. Many called his charm otherworldly. This was absolute power with a perfect face. Versailles made that power a show. Each morning, over 100 nobles fought for the honor to hand him a silk shirt. Some wanted to pour his water. Some wanted to tie his laces. At night, grown men competed just to blow out his candle. 10,000 people lived at Versailles to serve him. Even the marble under his feet came from far away, so every step sounded grand. But warnings were there. Old notes from his doctors, later decoded, show problems people hid. In his 20s, King Louis XIV needed 2 or 3 enemas a day just to use the bathroom. He ate 6 to 8 times a day. His breath smelled very bad, so he sucked mints often. His skin had acne and oil, covered by white powder and rouge. Rituals hid all of this from public view. One choice made things worse. He did not bathe. Each day he washed only his hands and face. That's it. Full body washing happened maybe twice in his life. It was not laziness. Many people then believed water made you weak or let in evil air. King Louis XIV thought his natural body smell showed strength and favor. This choice set the stage for what came next. January 1686. King Louis XIV first felt a small pain when sitting. Within a week, it felt like a sharp burning knife inside him. A swelling the size of a walnut appeared, followed by bleeding. He sat on soft cushions during meetings to hide the pain. But soon, a strange new smell clung to his royal clothes. By February, an opening had formed near his rectum, leaking fluid. The palace itself began to stink. This was no small problem. It was a serious infection. The treatments were harsh. Doctors forced water into the king's body through his rectum, a painful procedure called an enema. They gave him many of these every single day, thousands over the months. They used hot irons to seal tissue. They took blood daily to balance the body. None of it helped. Then came fake cures from visitors, animal fluids mixed with wine, crushed pearls in blood, frog fat in brandy. The pain grew, the smell spread. Diplomats left meetings early, so they turned to surgery. The royal surgeon had to operate with no anesthesia and no antibiotics. If he failed, he could be punished. He practiced on many living prisoners to learn the exact cuts. He built a curved silver scalpel meant to follow the tunnel of the infection. November 1686. Before sunrise, the team entered his private room. 4 nobles held King Louis XIV, a wood block between his teeth. No pain relief. For 3 hours, the surgeon cut along the path of the fistula. When he reached the deepest point, foul fluid burst out. Helpers ran from the room. Sheets were soaked. When the blade touched bone, King Louis XIV cried out. Everyone in nearby rooms heard him. It was not over. The wound would not heal. The infection ran deep. 1 surgery became 4. November into December, hours and hours of cutting. Notes later found described many infected fluid and dead tissue. In total, around 15 hours of surgery across 3 weeks. Awake the whole time. After all that, his body still leaked. The result was a permanent fistula. It would leak for the rest of his life. Versailles tried to hide the smell. King Louis XIV spent a fortune on perfume. Fresh flowers were placed every 2 hours. Scented smoke burned in special bowls. Furniture was sprayed before he sat. Even food had aromatic oils. The palace became a giant perfume machine. But scent cannot hide a failing body. His weight rose as well. From a strong, athletic build to a very large size. 6 men had to lift him onto a horse. The throne was remade more than once to hold him. Painters used angles to hide it. One Russian visitor stated that the king smelled like a dirty stable and waddled like a heavy cow. Then, his teeth. In 1693, a doctor believed sickness started in the mouth. He ordered all teeth pulled in one session. There was no anesthesia. The tools were crude. The roof of his mouth ripped open and his lower jaw snapped. A hole opened between the mouth and nose. Food and wine came out of his nose when he ate. His speech became hard to understand. Courtiers leaned close to hear, even though the smell was strong. Saliva leaked from his toothless mouth. The fistula never healed. Fluid leaked beneath his royal robes every day. The image of a perfect king was gone. The court built new rules to cover this up. Over 200 protocols were made. Colored ribbons told people how close they could get. Some days, do not approach. Other days, approach only with perfumed masks. The morning ceremony shrank to 30 minutes. Curtains hid the changing of cloth pads. Windows opened in careful patterns to push air away. Hundreds of bowls of flowers were replaced each hour. Courtiers carried small perfumed balls to hold under their noses. Still, King Louis XIV held power. The weaker his body became, the more he pushed the royal show. He kept the rituals. He kept the orders. The image had to stand. August 1715. Before dawn, he screamed. His left leg felt like fire inside. The old doctor said it was nerve pain. It was not. Black spots showed on his big toe. The skin felt hot. A new, worse smell filled the rooms, the smell of dead flesh. Dry gangrene had begun. It climbed the leg. By late August, the black color reached far up the foot. A toe fell off while a servant changed his stockings. The smell filled whole floors. Still, King Louis XIV signed papers and met envoys. Reports said he was dying by degrees, but the meetings kept going. Linens were changed every 2 hours. 20 servants worked shifts. Perfumed masks became normal. Some workers asked to leave. From the gardens, visitors said they could smell the rooms. As August turned to September, the black reached his calf and then his knee. Fever came each night. During the day, he tried to rule from a bed sprayed with lavender and vinegar. He called his great-grandson, the future King Louis XV, and warned him, "Do not copy me. I loved war too much." September 1715. Just before his 77th birthday, King Louis XIV died. But even death did not end the problem. Decay moved fast. The room grew hot and foul. An autopsy began 6 hours later. The report said the whole left side was gangrenous. Throat muscles were black. The intestines were swollen to twice normal size. A long tapeworm was in the colon. The embalmers worked in perfume-soaked masks. Some could not stay in the room. The coffin was sealed at once and reinforced. People heard pops and gurgles from inside during the lying in state. Then came the cover-up. Officials told the public he died peacefully after a short illness. Medical records burned. Surgical notes vanished for centuries. The autopsy report was hidden in archives. Even records of perfume orders were erased. Versailles had staged their king to seem divine. It would not stage decay. What does this mean? King Louis XIV ruled for 72 years, the longest in European history. He built Versailles to show power. He claimed he ruled by God's will. But in the end, his body spoke louder than the myth. A fistula that never closed. A mouth damaged so badly that food came out his nose. A leg taken by gangrene. His last message stands. He loved war too much. He left a kingdom heavy with debt and a court trained to protect images over truth. The story of King Louis XIV shows a hard fact. Power cannot stop time or illness.